Hey guys, Rob here with McDojo Life, and no, your eyes do not deceive you. Today's McDojo breakdown is about a female martial arts fraud. Now, normally it's pretty much a sausage party up in here with nothing but dudes, but I, for one, am pretty happy that there's some female representation on the martial arts frauds team.
Go team! Go sports!
But I digress. Her name is Yan Feng, which is not to be confused with General Feng, or White Fang, because those two fangs have nothing to do with this video. Yan Feng, like many martial arts frauds, believes that she has magical chi powers and can throw people around with barely touching them, if not even touching them at all. Observe. Yan Feng claims to be a first-generation disciple of a man named Li Jingwu, who was the founder of Jingwu Tai Chi. But after videos began to surface of Yan Feng claiming that she had supernatural abilities, other disciples of Jingwu decided that they unanimously wanted to excommunicate her from the lineage. Take this video for example. You're probably wondering, just like I was wondering, what possibly could be her response to those people who were inside that organization who unanimously wanted to kick her out.
Excommunicado.
Well, her rebuttal was, only the master has the right to kick someone out of his school, and no one else has that right. Well, isn't that convenient? Seeing as how the master of that organization, Jingwu himself, died in 1997. Kinda hard to have the dead guy kick her out of the organization. But her response isn't the strangest thing out of that. What I found extremely strange was that her disciples wanted to kick her out of the organization because she was claiming supernatural abilities. But from what I've seen of Jingwu himself, it seemed like he claimed the same abilities, he just called it something different. Observe. On one hand, Jingwu is doing things that look supernatural, but not calling them supernatural, while on the other hand, she's doing things that are almost identical, but she's calling them supernatural.
Same, but different, but still same.
One incident I found fascinating was of a reporter who had called her out on these behaviors. The reporter asked Yan Feng to demonstrate those supernatural abilities on him, and she agreed. This was the result.
你不会感觉到，因为这个灵通就是需要我们在一起的一个磨合、一个磨练、一个相互的一个感应。它就像一个球，它充满了气，它练着是充满气的。那你没有，你没有充满这个气，你是一个没有的，
就是您的吐气才能感受到。
这是一个看法。感到这儿啊，感觉到这地方怎么出气在这里？
我自己的个人的感觉就是刚刚
随后，记者变换了位置，由对手变到队尾，想体验是否自己也能。
放松，你把这松了，你不让松的力量打不出气。放松就可以了，不用那个松的那个状态。
As you could see, it went pretty much how we expect this to go. The students of her were flying all over the place being super dramatic, and nothing really happened to the reporter. Now, of course, when this didn't work on the reporter, she was asked, why does this work on them and not the reporter? And her response was her abilities only work for people who have been practicing Tai Chi for years.
That is one big pile of shit.
I think I can correct that statement to make it a little more accurate. Her abilities only work on people who have been brainwashed and are involved in her cult for years. That seems way more accurate. I do give her a little bit of credit though, where a lot of these other fake martial arts masters won't actually try this with people outside of the cult. She did, which is very rare. Off the top of my head, I can only think of a few times where martial arts frauds or cult leaders have actually been willing to allow outsiders to try it out. The first off the top of my head is any martial arts fraud who has been willing to fight Xu Xiaodong. Another is that time that the human stun gun went into a legitimate martial arts school and tried his voodoo powers on people.
Feel any heat? Feel any lightheadedness at all?
Not really.
And once again,
No, I don't even feel it. Go moving on you.
I got hit in the head a lot.
the results were less than stunning.
He's not gonna go.
Tom says only about 40% of people are susceptible to touchless knockouts.
And of course, who could forget that time that Leon J stood in for George Dillman and attempted to no-touch knockout a 130-something pound producer.
It didn't work.
So if these superpowers are real like they claim them to be real, why on earth do they not work for anyone unless they're inside a cult or unless they've been practicing martial arts themselves? Why do these powers always fail? Well, George Dillman seemed to have the answer.
I don't know if I should say that on film, but if the guy had his tongue in the wrong position of the mouth, that can also nullify it. If I say I'm going to knock you out, and you raise one toe and push one toe down, can't knock you out. And then if I go to try again, you reverse it. If you keep doing this, I won't knock you out.
Of course, it's the big toe and the tongue and the roof of the mouth. Why didn't I think of this? And why didn't anyone else think of this who was a disciple of Yan Feng who's getting thrown around in this next video? As I said at the beginning of this video, it's pretty rare to find a female martial arts fraud or cult leader. 99% of the time, it seems, most of these frauds are dudes. And even off the top of my head, I can only really think of one other female martial arts fraud who I did a video on, and that was Gabrielle Rubin. And if you hadn't seen that video, here's a little clip of what she teaches.
I actually think the ground is one of the safest places to be. Probably the scariest thing that people have asked me about is if someone has you and they've straddled you, you want to still move your hips. Our hips are bony, and imagine what their most vulnerable thing is that's right there and it's open.
Yeah, that's right. Just wiggle your hips into their junk. Anyone who's taken jiu-jitsu knows that's a load of crap. That was pretty bad, but it's not chi power bad. Which brings us back to Yan Feng, who does claim that she has chi powers, so it's time to give her some Dillmans. Of course she's getting 5 out of 5 Dillmans for the simple fact that she believes that she can move and knock people down or knock them around without even touching them. I also find it hilarious that her response to being excommunicated from an entire organization and lineage was no. I mean, that defense works for almost nothing. Like, for instance, if you're about to get arrested, you can't just be like, no. Or if you're about to get fired from your job, no. It never works. It doesn't work like that, lady. But just like every other fraud I've covered, it brings up interesting topics to discuss. This brings us to the question of the day. Why do you think there are so many more male martial arts frauds and con artists than female? I understand that martial arts in itself is a predominantly male activity, but there are a lot of females who also participate. So back to the question, why are there so few female martial arts frauds, but so many male ones? Be sure to answer that question in the comment section below so that way I know that you watched the entire video. As always, thank you all for the likes, comments, shares, memberships, and subscriptions. Keep the martial arts legit.
Things just haven't been the same. Living strange since my baby joined that door.